Picture this. It is 7:30 in the morning. There is cereal on the floor. Someone is crying because the toast was cut into squares instead of triangles. A tiny person is sitting in the hallway with one shoe on, refusing to move, while everyone is already late. And the parent standing there is trying so hard not to lose it. They have tried explaining, warning, breathing, bribing, and pretending they are much more emotionally regulated than they actually feel. And still, somehow, the toddler is on the floor. Not because they are trying to ruin the morning, not because the parent has failed, but because toddlerhood is not a behaviour problem, it is a brain development stage. And once parents understand that, the whole thing starts to make sense. Most parents are not struggling because they are doing something wrong. They are struggling because the advice they were given sounds good in theory and falls apart by 7:30 in the morning. Stay calm. Be consistent. Offer choices. Set boundaries. Don't give in. All of that can be useful, but only when parents understand what is actually happening inside a toddler's brain and body. Because when a toddler is screaming over the wrong cup, refusing the toilet, melting down at bedtime, or suddenly hitting after being told no, it does not feel like neuroscience. It feels personal. It feels embarrassing. It feels like maybe this should be easier by now. But the truth is, toddlers are not tiny adults with bad manners. They are young children with huge emotions, limited language, immature impulse control, and a nervous system that still needs an adult to help it find its way back to calm. Here is the thing nobody puts on the parenting advice. A toddler's brain is still under construction. The part of the brain responsible for logic, patience, flexible thinking, impulse control, and emotional regulation is nowhere near fully developed. So when a toddler is told to calm down, listen, stop crying, or make a good choice, they may understand some of the words, but they often do not yet have the internal capacity to do what is being asked in that moment. That does not mean there should be no boundaries. It does not mean children should run the house. And it definitely does not mean parents have to accept chaos all day. It means the tools have to match the developmental stage. Because a toddler in a meltdown is not choosing to be difficult. Their nervous system has tipped into overwhelm. Their body is flooded. Their thinking brain has gone offline. And in that moment, more talking, more lecturing, more threats, or more pressure usually makes everything worse. This is why so many parents feel stuck. They are trying to teach in moments when the child's brain is not available for teaching. They are trying to reason with a nervous system. They are trying to win a power struggle with someone who genuinely believes a broken banana is an emergency. So the question is not, how do parents control a toddler? The better question is, how do parents guide a toddler's brain and body towards cooperation, without shame, fear, or constant battles? And that question has a real answer, because toddlers are not impossible. They are patterned. Underneath every explosion are predictable needs: safety, connection, autonomy, rhythm, language, sleep, food, sensory regulation, and clear boundaries. When those needs are understood, parents stop reacting to every explosion as if it came out of nowhere. They start seeing the pattern underneath. And once the pattern is visible, it can be changed. The first shift is this: parents do not need to wait until a toddler is falling apart to start parenting. The most powerful toddler strategies happen before the meltdown. Toddlers thrive on predictability, not rigid routines that make family life impossible, but enough rhythm that their brain knows what is coming next. To a toddler, An unannounced transition is not an inconvenience. It is a threat. Their nervous system does not do sudden. It does what comes next. So instead of springing transitions on toddlers, parents can start giving simple previews. First breakfast, then shoes. 2 more turns, then we go. After bath, pajamas, then story. Your body wants to keep playing. It is hard to stop. I will help you. This simplicity is exactly what toddlers need. Not long explanations, not lectures, not 10-minute negotiations with someone who has only been on the planet for a few years. Short, warm, clear, repeated. That is what builds safety. The second shift is language. One of the biggest reasons toddler behaviour can become so intense is that toddlers understand more than they can say. Their thoughts, wants, frustrations and feelings are often much bigger than their vocabulary. So when the words are not there, the body speaks instead. Crying, throwing, running away, hitting, refusing, clinging, screaming. Often, these are not behaviour problems, they are communication problems from a child whose feelings are bigger than their words. This is why naming emotions matters in simple human language. You really wanted the blue cup. You are angry that we have to leave. You wanted to do it by yourself. That was disappointing. You are having a hard time. I am here. When parents name what is happening, they are not rewarding the behaviour. They are helping the child organise the experience. They are giving the child the language they will eventually use instead of falling apart. The toddler may still scream, they may still cry, but the goal is not instant silence. The goal is building a brain that can eventually say, I'm mad, instead of hitting. I need help, instead of collapsing. I don't want to stop, instead of melting down for 20 minutes. That is not permissive. That is development. The third shift is autonomy. This is where so many toddler battles begin. Toddlers are discovering that they are separate people. They have preferences. They have opinions. They have a deep developmental drive to do things themselves, even when they absolutely cannot do those things efficiently, safely, or within any reasonable time frame. This is why a child may refuse the food they loved yesterday. This is why toilet training can suddenly become a power struggle. This is why I do it myself can appear 5 minutes before everyone needs to leave the house. They are not trying to be difficult, they are trying to matter. And when every part of the day feels controlled by adults, toddlers often grab power wherever they can find it. So the answer is not to give them control over everything. The answer is to give controlled autonomy. You can wear the red socks or the blue socks. You can walk to the bathroom or hop like a bunny. You can sit on the toilet before bath or after bath. You can hold my hand or hold the pram. The car seat is not a choice. Climbing in or being helped in is the choice. That last part matters, because gentle does not mean unclear. Connection does not mean the boundary disappears. A toddler needs warmth and leadership. They need to know the adult is kind, but also steady. They need to know their feelings are allowed, but they are not in charge of every decision. That balance is where cooperation starts to grow. The fourth shift is connection before correction. This is one of the hardest things to remember in the moment, especially when a child has just thrown something, screamed, refused, or hit. But toddler behaviour often escalates when the child feels disconnected, overwhelmed, rushed, tired, hungry, overstimulated, or out of control. And in those moments, immediate correction can feel like more threat to the child's nervous system. That does not mean ignoring behavior. It means sequencing the response. Connect first, then guide. A parent might say, "I won't let you hit. I can see you are angry." Then move closer, lower the voice, hold the boundary. "The toy is going away for now. I will help you." The child may still cry. That is okay. The goal is not to prevent every feeling. The goal is to help the child move through the feeling without shame, without fear, and without learning that big emotions make them unlovable. The way a child is met in their hardest moments becomes the voice they carry inside themselves. A child who is repeatedly met with calm, clear support begins to internalize that pattern. Not perfectly, but gradually. The adult regulation becomes the child's blueprint. And this is where many parents need to hear something very clearly. A parent does not have to be calm all the time for this to work. No one is calm all the time. Parents are tired. They are overstimulated. They are working, cleaning, cooking, carrying mental load, answering messages, managing appointments, worrying about money, trying to be patient while being touched all day, and sometimes just trying to get through bedtime without crying themselves. So this is not about becoming a perfect parent. It is about having something to reach for at 7:30 in the morning when perfect is nowhere in sight. Because when there is no system, every difficult moment becomes a fresh decision. What folks should be said? Should the parent ignore it? Should they comfort? Should they hold the boundary? Should they explain? Should they leave? Should they try again? Should they be firmer? Should they be softer? That constant decision-making is absolutely exhausting. A good toddler system removes the guesswork, and this is where toddler parenting can genuinely begin to feel different. Not perfect, different. Imagine a morning where the toddler still has big feelings, but the parent is no longer surprised by them. Imagine toilet training without shame, panic, pressure, or months of confusion. Imagine bedtime with a rhythm the child recognizes and a parent who knows how to respond when the stalling begins. Imagine boundaries that do not require yelling. Imagine a child who does not always cooperate immediately, because no toddler does, but who starts recovering faster, resisting less, and trusting the parent's leadership more. Imagine the parent no longer ending every day wondering, "Why is this so hard?" That is what happens when the approach finally matches the child's development. Because the problem was never that parents did not care enough. Most parents care so much that they are carrying guilt over moments their child has already moved on from. The problem is that parents have been told what to do without being shown why it works, when to use it, and how to apply it across real toddler life. Real life is not one calm conversation on a beige rug. Real life is a toddler refusing the toilet 5 minutes before leaving. It is a meltdown in the car park, throwing food at dinner. It is bedtime negotiations, a child sobbing because the parent helped after they asked for help. It is trying to set boundaries while also wondering whether the boundary is too harsh. It's wanting to raise a confident, emotionally healthy child while also needing them to put pants on. That is the gap parents need help with, not another random tip. A complete pathway, one that helps parents understand emotional regulation, cooperation, boundaries, toilet training, and preschool readiness as connected pieces of the same bigger picture. Because they are connected. A child who feels safe is more able to cooperate. A child who understands the rhythm of the day is less likely to resist every transition. A child who is given language for feelings is less likely to communicate only through behaviour. A child who experiences firm, warm boundaries learns that limits are safe. And a child who is prepared for preschool through connection, independence, routines, and emotional skills enters that next stage with more confidence. This is what changes the whole household, because parents stop feeling like they are constantly guessing. If today's video gave you something useful, the full pathway linked below goes much deeper. It brings together the practical systems for calmer cooperation, emotional regulation, boundaries without battles, rapid toilet training, and preschool readiness in a way that fits real family life. And for parents who are still figuring things out one video at a time, stay here. This channel is built for the parent who wants to understand their child, not shame them. The parent who wants calmer days, but also realistic ones. The parent who wants to raise a toddler who feels loved, capable, emotionally safe, and ready for the world beyond home. Subscribe and keep going, because toddlerhood is intense. It is messy. It can stretch a parent to the edge of themselves. But it is also one of the most powerful windows in a child's life. And when parents have the right system, the same moments that once felt like battles can become the moments that build trust, confidence, cooperation, and lifelong emotional strength.
For parents who want the full step-by-step pathway, the Toddler course is here and also linked below. It is designed to help make daily life feel calmer, clearer, and much less overwhelming. See you inside.